have with us on this episode Paul Augustin. Paul is the curator founder of the Penang House of Music. Now, Paul, this place is amazing. You've got pretty much everything to do with the local music scene throughout the decades. You've got instruments, posters, memorabilia. You have a VR room and a performing space as well. Can you tell us about the Penang House of Music's journey?
Or how we started and all that, yeah. Okay, actually, it all began when I have to go way back to when we had something called the Jimmy Ball Young Talent Competition, and a lot of the kids took part in that one. But we realized that nobody knew who Jimmy Ball was. So then if nobody knew who Jimmy Ball was, nobody would know who Ahmad Marikan or Ahmad Daud or Zainal Alam, Uyao Jin and all the other guys. So I said, it's a shame that nobody remembers these people, the contribution they made. So that started me on my journey of just doing personality profiles and all that. Then eventually it led to collecting a lot, and then we were talking to the Penang State Museum, and they said, can you put up an exhibition? So that was in 2010, and we put up an exhibition of Penang's popular music of the 40s and 50s. That was easy because a lot of the people have either died or too old to remember, or but they shared a lot of stories, and it was amazing stories that you hear because they went through the time from the Second World War to the time the communists, and then the starting of RTM, Malaysia getting our independence, and a lot of the Penang people were actually involved in music in the early stages until today. So it opened in 2010, and then we had it was very good. The response was very good. And then we were approached again by the museum and Pink City, and there was a three-party thing that we did. The second one in 2013, which was Penang's popular music of the 40s, 50s and 60s. And when we did that one and we launched it, it was actually quite amazing. A lot of them came back for the exhibition. From as far as London, even Brunei, Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, a lot of the musicians came. And it's actually quite funny because they haven't seen each other for 30, 40 years, and they tell each other like, oh, you haven't changed. They changed. They changed, you either go bald or you fat, And the governor at that time launched that exhibition. And he was walking around and he says, hey, we should put all this in the book. So we started working on the book. It was James Lockett and me. All through the journey, James Lockett was with me. And when the book came out in 2015, amazingly, it sold out within 2 months. The first print. So we had to go in the second print, and then it's now also sold out. Now we're into the third print. But when the book came out at that time, I was approached by a talk with Datuk Jasni from the CEO of PBA, and he said, okay, now you got all these things, what are you going to do with it? I said, James and I said, no, we just want a resource center because it was so hard for us to collect the information. And then one thing led to another, and he says, why don't you talk to the CM at that time? And so I was asked to send in the proposal. I sent in the proposal, and then they showed me this space. Mm-hmm. And this is much, much bigger than a small place that I wanted. It's 6,800 square feet, And they said, okay, can we do something with it? And they said, okay, we'll look into it. And then it was sent to the board to get approval, and the board approved. We asked for 5 years, but they gave us 3 years with half of what we asked for, which is actually 3 million. For us, it's like, wow, that's a lot of money. But in actual fact, this was a blank space. So we had to come in and do a lot of things. And we wanted to present something which is of quality. Mm-hmm. So we had to come up with ideas now. How do we tell the story? And fortunately, Penang had an amazing story to tell. We were a port. I will give one example, is Liverpool. Liverpool was a port. So people came from all over, they brought influences. So, from there you grow. And then, but like for example, the Beatles cannot make money in Liverpool. They had to go to London. And that's what happened to all the musicians here. Here was where you get all the training and building the foundation. Make money, you go to Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, and a lot of them travel overseas as well. So there's a lot of stories that came into this, and that's how we actually eventually opened on November 21st, 2016.